Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, August 31st, 2017. I am Rochelle Baptiste with the details. A volunteer director of Marion House, Jeannie Oliver, has expressed strong concern over the number of child maintenance cases being brought before the family court. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Oliver said figures from the family court showed that in February this year, 64 cases of child maintenance were brought up and 80 cases in March. Oliver also expressed concern that there were 15 cases of rape, incest, and indecent assault against children under the age 15 and 13. The human rights advocate appealed to fathers to play a greater role in the lives of their children and not neglect them.
The father of the children are not taking their full responsibility in ensuring that that child gets love, in ensuring that the child physical, emotional, and their cultural needs are met. And I want to quote here for you from statistics from the family court. In January of this year, 2017, there were 70 applications for maintenance for the children. Mothers had to take fathers to court. Long ago, you didn't take a father to court. A father knew he had a responsibility. He knew he had a child. He had given him, he had contributed to the bringing of a child into the world. And it was his responsibility to assist with the caring and the rearing and the support of that child, providing educational and other needs. So you had 70 applications before the court in January.
Oliver, who is also a social worker, bashed mothers who use the maintenance money to glamorize themselves instead of taking care of the needs of their offspring.
I understand that there are some mothers who use the money for other means than for the development of the child. Go and use the nails, put on false nails, buy the wig or plait up, and then they want gabs, they want to be in the in thing, so they're dressing like a fiddlestick. They're not working, you know. Some of them, most of them not working, but they're in the most recent styles. So they take some, not all, some of them take the money from the fathers and see about themselves rather than seeing about the children. But that should not deter any man from supporting his child, providing the basic needs for his child: food, shelter, and clothing. Nobody should beg you to support your child. You know it's yours, so support it.
78 selected financially disabled students across SVG were today presented with bursaries through the annual Children in Need Fund Award ceremony at the Foreign Affairs Conference Room. Since its inception in 2005, the fund has enabled less fortunate students to be better placed in getting a proper education. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
Established by this country's High Commissioner in the United Kingdom, His Excellency Senior Lewis, the Children in Need Fund has over the last 12 years provided funding towards the educational journey of many financially disabled students here in SVG. Today, Thursday, August 31st, 78 students became beneficiaries of bursaries made possible through the fund and were urged by all speakers to take advantage of the opportunity afforded to them. Senior Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Commerce and Trade, Cassandra Brown, praised the efforts of the SVG High Commission in the United Kingdom, as well as the Vincentian Diaspora in the UK, for seeing it fit to donate towards the development of the nation's youth.
This initiative will continue well into the future, and that other diaspora groups will join the move to support the development of our youth. To parents of the bursary awardees, I take this opportunity to encourage you to utilize the funds to the furtherance of your children's education. To the recipients of these bursaries, I implore each and every one of you to purpose yourself to obtain a good education.
Noting that every child in SVG has the opportunity to achieve whatever he or she would want to achieve in life, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves urged parents to do their part to seek out all available opportunities to further assist their children.
I don't want to hear one excuse that you don't have the money. Don't want to hear that at all. What I want you to do is to give love and care to the children and seek out the opportunities that are available. We talk about them all the time. People saying, where they doing so much subject for? They must be bookworm, they must show off. We must celebrate and lift up, as I said in Parliament, these young people. Celebrate and lift them up.
Giving an overview of the genesis of the Children in Need Fund, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Sir Louis Straker noted that the parents present were now at a far better position to assist their children through the bursaries.
And see what our foreign affairs, not necessarily the ministry, but the thrust of our foreign affairs, the thrust of the foreign affairs of this government, how it is benefiting St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We would provide about 78 students here with $350 each. Not a lot of money, but when you don't have it, and when you don't know where to get it from, it comes in very handy to get your children ready for school.
The Children in Need Fund is sustained through the donations from the Vincentian diaspora in the UK and play a role in the government's trust to ensure that every child here in SVG is afforded the opportunity to gain a proper education. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
And the importance of diet and regular blood pressure and vital sign checks for the elderly were emphasized today at an exhibition hosted by the Allied Healthcare Services. A home health aide for the Allied Healthcare Services, Anaka Franklin, highlighted the importance of having blood pressure and sugar tests and outlined some of the techniques one can implement in moving a disabled person.
Educating the public about the importance of health, dealing with your blood pressure, your pulse, your GMR, which is your blood sugar. We're also educating them about things like just because you're diabetic or you have high blood pressure, you can still enjoy the same foods that normal people would be, but the importance of the portion sizes, things like lowering your salt intake and, you know, things like your fruits and so on that you can take. We're also doing a display on how you can do transfer of someone who is disabled, someone who is bedridden, and how, as a home health aide, how you can assist in moving those persons around, getting them from one place to another. And we're also educating them about just basically having a better outlook on taking care of yourself.
Franklin called on persons wishing to be involved in the care of the elderly to sign up for one of the programs being offered by the Allied Healthcare Services.
We have a program that teaches persons about elderly care, and you can apply to the program at Allied Healthcare in Stony Grounds if you're interested. And also just to let people know that whenever it comes to health, we need to pay closer attention to just our overall way that we take care of ourselves and not taking things for granted, but also knowing that we can enjoy life and foods and so on.
Another representative of the Allied Healthcare Services, Dex Leon Sampson, said it is the responsibility of the youth to aid the elderly and consider the exhibition a timely one.
Our job, especially those of the new generations, is our job to take care of our loved old people. Like we normally say, our Vinci Creole, our old people. We have to take care of them because they're still our loved ones. Yes, I think that this exhibition would be able to give the public a general knowledge of how to take care of the persons. We also have caretaking programs, training programs going on. We actually have one starting the 18th of September coming. right? Where you will be certified to take care of the elderly. You would know the proper techniques, how to do your blood pressure right, how to check the vitals, what's the right the right pressure that you need, the right respiration, and so forth.
The Adult and Continuing Education Unit continues to make tangible progress in transforming the lives of Vincentians. That's according to educator Albert Edwards, who was a panelist on NBC Radio's Views and Issues program last Sunday, where the progress of adult literacy here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines was being highlighted. Edwards stated that the impact of adult literacy programs can be seen in nearly every sector of the society, even in the prisons, where inmates are advancing themselves, and consider this as evidence of the tangible advances of the adult literacy program.
So you get that sense of joy, satisfaction. There are a lot of persons who went to teachers' college in the last 10 or 12 years who never got the start. Now that they were, instead of recruiting direct from the classroom, they were recruiting from persons now in the general public to be teachers. A lot of persons benefited. We had policemen, a lot of policemen came on because of the offerings. They asked for time off. The only problems around Independence, and we have Independence Day parade. A lot of them had to miss classes, but these benefited. In one ad I put 1 year, come and turn the grain to khaki. A lot of policemen have benefited, they have gone on to high office. And I felt a sense of joy. You got to enjoy that when you go to a bank sometimes and somebody see you, call him Mr. Edwards, and you go to the side and you get your book and you move on. Those are the tangible benefits you get, seeing people in your program and they're moving forward.
Edwards, however, added that despite the continued advancements of the program, he is concerned about the low enrollment of males, and added that this is one of the causes of social ills in SVG.
I still can't comprehend is the lack of males in the programs. You'll have a class and you'll have 25 students, you have 2 males. But the males are outside the classroom waiting for the girl to come. They buy the books, they bring the lunch, the Kentucky and whatever product. My girl going to university, man, I'm outside there, but he would not come into the classroom and help himself. And that is part of some of the problems that we have plaguing our society, because you have male inequality, lack of self-esteem. You're buying the books, yes, but would you come and sit down with a young lady and also ask her how class was and say pi out squared, how you compute it? And this is one of the problems that causing the issues in our society. The level of violence sometimes, domestic violence, because the male himself feels marginalized. And if he's marginalized, then he hits out.
The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, says it continues to monitor the approach of Hurricane Irma and appeals to all Vincentians here at home to be prepared, as this is the official peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. The 2017 hurricane season is forecasted to be very active and has already seen several named storms and rainfall events. At 5 p.m., the center of Irma, now a Category 3 hurricane, was located near latitude 17.3 north, longitude 34.8 west. Irma is moving toward the west-northwest near 12 miles per hour. According to the Met Office, this motion is expected to continue today, followed by a westward turn on Saturday and a west-southwestward motion by Sunday. Fluctuations in strength both up and down are possible, but it is forecasted that Irma will remain a powerful hurricane for several days. NEMO says it will continue to provide updates from the Met services on Hurricane Irma and encourage all to be on their guard. The additional 1% increase on the value-added tax, VAT, to 15%, which took effect from May this year, has seen some $3.5 million in returns over a 4-month period. Opposition Senator Marcia Banuel asked Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, how much money has been collected since the 1% VAT was imposed 4 months ago. The Prime Minister noted that while there has been a good collection process, 800 businesses are no longer in a particular VAT category, which resulted in some $300,000 in loss. However, over $3 million were collected.
The government had increased the threshold, the VAT threshold, from $120,000 to effectively $300,000, effectively therefore reducing the number of businesses on the VAT register by some 800, and resulting in an estimated loss of revenue on an annualized basis of $3.5 million. So you're looking at just over $300,000 a year losses on VAT in the change with lifting the threshold. That is not often spoken about in the context of the 1% increase, 1 percentage point. I just want to make that point so that whatever numbers I give you here, you reduce those numbers to see effectively what it would be by approximately $300,000.
In answering the second part of the question, which pertained to how much is anticipated to be collected by the end of the year, the Prime Minister stated that an estimated $6 million will be retrieved.
May, June, July, we have collected $2.67 million in that 1 percentage point increase, and on this basis the revenue is projected to yield $7.4 million for the year. But remember this, as I said, you'll have to take out 8/12 of $3.5 million in order to get the net number. We had estimated, when I told you in the budget, that it would yield about, on our estimates, about $10 million a year. So in real terms, you look as though on an annualized basis you would collect $6.5 million, having taken out the $3.5 million for the increase in the threshold. So it's a good amount of money, not an exorbitant amount of money, because it's good to have $6.5 million more net. This is what it amounts to.
The Central Water and Sewage Authority, CWSA, has come in for criticism in relation to the state of some roads across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This criticism comes from Minister of Transport and Works, Julian Francis, as he responded to a question at a media conference earlier this week in relation to pipe repair work, which requires digging of roads. Francis stated that such work across SVG by workmen of the Central Water and Sewage Authority has undermined the integrity of some roads across the country.
CWSA. In 2001, when we took office, CWSA dug up from Ryland Hill straight to Camden Park Bridge. Some areas 4 feet wide, because when they dig down the base of that road, they met some big stones. And when you took it out, you had about 10 feet. And then between them and the contractor, in replacing that cut that they did, is where the deterioration of South Leeward Highway started shortly after 21, for a set of rainstorms we had after that. That is what to help. Now, I have had quarrels and fights and challenges with CWSA. Look in front of Mariners Inn. I mean, I have a keen eye on these things. I'm still dissatisfied with the restoration of that entrance at Mariners Inn that was caused by leakage by CWSA pipe. Because it wasn't very long after we had paved the Windward Highway that this thing appeared. And I'm worried about South Leeward Highway just being done and having these things happening.
The Transport and Works Minister added that the materials used to repair the roads after work done by the CWSA is part of the reason why some of these roads deteriorate quickly.
But when CWSA has these problems, we have to be behind them. They tend to use what is called grout. They don't get a real hot mix. because to fix back a channel that you have just cut to change a pipe, you can't get that in hot mix because you have to turn on a whole plant to get hot mix to fix that little area. So they use cold mix. And they never get back the smooth surface, and they never get the compaction back right. All they do, well, I wouldn't say all they do, they protect their pipe. They put sand on top of the pipe, then they put aggregate on top of it, and they compact it layer by layer and come out. But it's never the same after the total compaction.
Highlighting work which needs to be done on the Bay Street area in capital Kingston, Minister Francis stated that both BRAXA and the CWSA are trying to work for a common good.
But we know there will be subsiding of that area. It will go down. You will find today you drive it fairly smooth, but by Wednesday when you drive there, you will feel the dump. We have to go back now, dig back out 6, 8, 10 inches, compact it properly, and pave it back with hot mix. So we have that discussion going on with it. So the utilities and us try to work close to each other. One of the things that aggravates me is that we have just completed a piece of road, and then CWSA want to run a big pipe. I remember when we did the piece of road going up to Nature Trail in Vermont. Nice hot mix asphalt, Alan Dean did it. I was up there, enjoying the job. Immediately following, 3 months later, we get a letter from CWSA that they have some 12-inch pipes. 2013 floods had just come, they had some 20. They want to dig back up that asphalt. I said, no, find a different route, run it along the river, run it over the river. You can't go and dig that back up. But you see, they're all government, 6 of one, half a dozen the other.
The Barrowley Fisheries Development Cooperative, in conjunction with the Barrowley Community Committee, will host another Bagger Festival this Friday, September 1st, 2017. Some of the objectives of the festival are to promote the consumption of local fish and other local products, act as a source of employment and empowerment as it assists in poverty reduction, improve the economic activity of the community and the environment, and build a national festival with an international appeal. The Fish Fest activities are expected to be held at the Central Square in Barrowley and is expected to commence at 6 p.m.